Thank you for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi. My guest, Adrienne Ego, is here, and I am super excited that she's decided to come and spend some time with us. So, Adrienne, let the people know who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay, so I'm Adrienne Obey now, although and it's Adrienne Igo is my married name. Yeah, I got two last names. I was like two phones. But Adrienne Obey, and I am a astrologer, a Western Intuitive Astrologer, a sacred soul light healer, and a sacred soul alignment practitioner, as well as a spiritual coach. And I do a lot of other things like tarot, and I own businesses, and I do a lot of stuff online.
That is what's up. That is what's up. So let's talk about how you got into astrology.
Now that's an interesting story. I was 16 years old, 16. And I was actually on the debate team in my high school. And I was actually on the con side of astrology. I was supposed to prove that astrology was not real. And so I had to do my study because, you know, you have to do your research. And I went into my research to win. And I found out some things in astrology about myself that no one knew. And not everybody has. Like, I never knew my real father. And I don't to this day know who my real father really is. The man I call my father was a Puerto Rican man named Wilfredo Franco. And but my grandmother says my dad's a Puerto Rican man, not that Puerto Rican man, but I don't know him. I never met him. I just know I look different than the rest of my brothers. You know what I mean? I don't know who my dad is, but that was in my horoscope chart. That's usually indicated by having Saturn in the first house and having Saturn as your chart ruler. I have that, and I'm a double Capricorn. All the indications of that was there. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm done. Because my brothers knew their dads. I've got 6 brothers. We don't all have the same dads either. My mom was a little fast. Okay. Mm-hmm. But they all know their dad. Their dads would come, bring them gifts, whatever. Even if they didn't know the dads, they knew they were drunk somewhere. They knew their dads. I didn't know my dad. I never knew my dad. And the truth is, I don't think my mom really could pinpoint or get a hold of my dad. Like, she might have had sex with him, but she couldn't find him after that. And that was all indicated there. So there were a lot of different things. Like, at the time, I was a really good singer. And especially in my teen years, I used to sing gospel at church. And I actually got to sing, in a concert with the Mighty Clouds of Joy and all that kind of stuff. I did a lot of things when I was young. And one of the things I have in my chart is the moon in Taurus and Venus and Neptune in the 10th house. Both of these are indications of good singing voices. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa, how would they know that? Like, there were really weird things. Like, to give you an example, my brother John has Mars in the 10th house and ended up spending most of his life in the military until he was kicked out because it was in Scorpio, and you shouldn't mess up when, you got Mars up there. But I told him when he was young, I'm like, you're supposed to go into the military, because that's Mars in the 10th house is really a lot of pent up aggression. It's a lot of aggression. So if you're not letting that aggression out, it'll come to you anyway. It's the energy, right? So the energy would have came to him. Like, I think when he was 17, he punched my mother in the face and she had to put him in a mental place for a while. And he was already picking up that aggression. But in the military, he excelled. He became a master sergeant and whatever, because that's where that energy belonged. It didn't belong on the street, right? He became one of those death squad people that jump out of the planes and all that, death from above. He was all into that for like 20 some years. So there's certain things that each one of us possess, and it's actually indicated in our chart. I'm going to give you another story. Couple of stories. I will give you another one. Recently in my business, there was a girl came to me, and she's a life coach, and and a matter of fact, she's one of the girls I said, my friends got on the TED Talks. She's one of the TED Talks girls. And I had told her, I said to her, look, You've got Mercury up on the midheaven, and she had like her son up there or something. I'm like, you're a communicator. You should be out communicating all the time. This is your career. There were two girls I told that, and they both listened, and they both went really far with their careers. She's on TED Talk, so hello. But and then the other thing, I saw travel, and she moved to Kenya, and so
Nice.
all of that is there. Another girl, I said, you look like this is all about you finding you and loving you. The next time I saw that child, she had went from, I guess, like a size 24 down to like a size 14 or 12.
Oh, nice.
It's all there. I think this is my theory about astrology. People say a lot of things about it because they don't understand it. I believe that it was placed in, I think it's all placed in the sky. I think we're all part of this great big puzzle. We're all in this together. I think there's always been an answer, a solution, a way of understanding things. The planets are positioned the way they are for a reason.
Yeah.
And they have meaning. We might not understand the meaning. It's like Stonehenge. Some people don't understand the meaning of Stonehenge and how they're positioned or whatever. And some people have all kinds of meanings for it. Astrology has a very particular meaning. And if you use it and understand it just right, you can predict just about anything and be really on the money. I will say I'm born the same day as Jean Dixon, who was one of the most famous astrologers of the 20th century.
Nice.
January 5th. Yeah. I thought that was weird too. Like, really? I got the same birthday as Jean Dixon. So maybe I'm the Black Jean Dixon of the 21st century.
Yes. Yes. The thing is I can see your passion, even when you talk about, the people that have come to you and how you have helped them and guided them through astrology. Mm-hmm. And for people that, because this is the thing. So like I was raised super, super Christian. Okay. Like Pentecostal holiness Christian. Right. And my grandmother was a pastor, preacher, teacher, prophetess, evangelist type. So, growing up, they said astrology was of the devil. And so I had to get to a place where I, in this period of unlearning, I had to unlearn that. And so I never really understood, because what you were talking about, it sounded really interesting, but I don't know what you're talking about.
When I talk to people about the Bible and astrology, there's a couple of, if you look for it, you can find it. There's I think it's either Proverbs or Ecclesiastes. And it really breaks it down a little bit more. And it says, who charges for this and is not real. So if you're not real and you're charging for what's not real, then you're a charlatan and you're false. And you're not giving what's really there. But astrology, real astrology, what I do, it's a science. It's about the numbers. It's not about falsity. It's about, if you learn the system, it's always going to be the same. It's not coming from me. I'm not lying. It's a system. It's been in place since the Babylonians, and it's not going away because it is real. The planets aren't going away. They haven't moved from their, they do their little traveling and they come right back to where they're supposed to be. And this is thousands of years, millions of years. So when people tell me astrology isn't real, I'm like, it's only not real because you don't understand it. And when I look at the Bible, I look at all the things that were there in the Bible because people don't know what they don't know. Yeah. And it could have been back then, there could have been some false prophets. They talk about that in the Bible a lot. And we see that even today. I see people who are saying they're astrologers and they'll be talking and got thousands of followers. And I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yes.
It don't make sense to nobody because it ain't real. But the people who are listening don't know. They follow them because they like them, because they think they're cute. I don't know. But they're not talking with any sense of anything that's real. It's very upsetting. Yeah. I feel this way. There's this one guy, I don't know why I keep listening to him. And he talks about numerology. And I'm like, you're so far off. I can't. It's so frustrating to me because there is a set numerological system. And usually, no matter where you go, numerologically, it's always the same. Whether it's like something you learn from Linda Goodman or from a numerology book, or you go to numerology.com, there's a system. So when you're outside of that system, you're just making ish up in your own head. Okay. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. So anyway, I had to say,
but you know, that's right. Because I interviewed a numerologist, and that was exactly what he said. It was amazing. He said the numbers don't lie.
They don't lie.
You know?
And I think a lot of people who are, end quote, charlatans go out there and they make up these own little systems and they try to call it real. But some of these practices, because I know the Chaldeans, I think it was with the numerology, but these are thousands of years old. Like, we don't make these up. We're keeping a tradition going from hundreds and thousands of years. And it was the same yesterday as it is today, as it will be tomorrow. And that's just the way it is. We don't fix that. I also, you're also a sacred soul light healer or sacred soul alignment practitioner. And now about energy. And I believe that's also a really big part of these planets. It's about the energy they carry. That's how they're affecting our lives. We've already proven that the moon and the sun, they really do influence us. We were talking earlier, found out you were a Scorpio. You got the black and white behind you. You're very scorpionic. I see it. Okay. It's right there. Okay. And so there's certain things this is a saying I made up years ago. I said, there's certain things that people do. And then there are certain things that people are.
Yes.
And the things that people are, it does not change. You can do things, but then the things you are, they're just there. And I think the problem comes in when people try to change who others fundamentally are, and or accuse them and say, oh, they're doing this. Like, I'm kind of flamboyant, like my little blonde hair with the pink in it, whatever. I got Neptune on the 10th house and my sun on the ascendant. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm not going to play dead for you. This is me. This is me.
Yes.
And so that's what other people don't get. Sometimes if they can just understand that there are some things people just are, let them be who they are.
Yes.
Just let them be.
The world would have so much more love.
And acceptance. Because I think sometimes we're trying to change, like, oh, they're doing this or they're doing that. And I'm like, they're just being them. That's who they are. They're not going to change. Leave them alone. Yeah. Let them do that. Even when they're miserable. Like, if you ever see people, I always say they're mud, like they're like mud, right? They're miserable. And I've come across mud people. And when I look in their chart, oh, there it is. So much water and earth. They are heavy. They're loaded in that. They're not getting out of that misery. They never learned to navigate the planets. And so now they're 40, 50 years old and they're miserable and saying nasty stuff to people. Well, that's them. Leave them alone. That's who they are. Yeah. They don't got no joy. You can't put no joy where no joy ain't. You put no sunlight in there.
They gonna purge.
Right.
We're in a purging season.
Maybe. The most you can do is notify people of what's there. I think a lot of people go through things and they don't know why. And so sometimes it's just a matter of figuring out, oh, that's why. And then once you're aware of it, it opens up your awareness, and then you can work with what's there. But when we don't know what's there and we can't, we're going on like, what is that? Why am I this way? We start beating ourselves up, not understanding ourselves or what our motivations are, or why we're not like this one or not like that one. When in reality, we are who we are. And that is a part of who we are. It's not something you're doing. It's something you are. And I think once you know, oh, that's who I am, I can do that at will. It changes things. Like if I tell someone your thing here in life is money, spend your time and energy on making that money. I just did a reading for a girl last month like that. I'm like, she was trying to, she had moved from Seattle to Georgia, and she was trying to become a lawyer and hadn't gotten through. But I looked at her chart and she had so much ninth house emphasis. And she was about to have like Mars, I think, go to her 10th house. And I'm like, you're about to become a lawyer. Don't give up. You're about to blow this open. This is your thing. Okay. And she's like, you're right. I'm working on going back and doing this. And I'm like, she's going to do it. And I had saw where in her chart, it was a lot of, I just saw professionals, like professional organizations, professional groups and associations, like the lawyer association, the executive group or something. Like, I'm like, get involved in all those Black organizations you can find, every single one, because just by rubbing shoulders with the right people, you're going to end up getting what you want. I saw that. So I follow up on her and see if she got that. But, you know, by the way, this light is making me sweat, Lord. But I saw that for her. And I'm thinking, Lord, may this child get all that she wants, because her ambition for that and her desire for that will not be appeased. It's not a desire that she has. It is a need, because it's in her chart. She's on her path. So she has to stay on that path. And I find too, when people go off their path, let's say I saw that and instead she said, oh, forget that. I'm not going to go forward with that. I'm going to go, and I don't know. I'm going to go and move into this trail or somewhere. I don't know.
Look, I'm going to go be a hairdresser.
And just throw her all off her trajectory. Like, here you got all this potential to be like a politician and a lawyer, maybe the next Black female president, and you're going to go off and do X, Y, Z. So, you know, sometimes when people see their potential, it'll keep them from doing something silly like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
I
other
think that is like fire, because just like you said, sometimes you just need to see it, and then you just need to know it. You know, because we had conversation before, and I said, once I found out that I was a reflector, and then I had a session with somebody and they shared, you know, what my gates were and all these things. And it made me understand. And then it also made me know that I wasn't crazy, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I am different.
Yeah.
You know, but in number three, I have to honor my energy, and then I have to, you know, deal with things in the way that I deal with them, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like somebody was talking about something. They did a post and they were saying, you know, I realize I can do this, but I can't do it because this is, you know, who I am, blah blah blah. And I said, yeah, I can't do it either. I said, because this is who I am. I said, I can't do it. I said, and now I'm honoring that and realizing that, you know, yes, I have desires to do all sorts of things, you know, but it's not in my design to do it that way.
Like, I want to ski, but I know I ain't never going to go up on the slope and try it. I'm not with these knees. No.
You know, it's something I desire to do. My husband said he'll watch me. But I don't know, I'm not even really that serious. I could just do the board thing.
I told you I had the two dislocated. I had the two dislocated knees. So the idea of skiing, that's like the worst possible. Like, if I had to ski for my life, I die, right? Because my knees are not that strong. So yeah, I know that's not me. They're never gonna happen.
Right.
So,
it's not in your it's not on your bucket list even.
Nah, but plus, like I said, double Capricorn, Saturn in the first house. Saturn is the chart ruler. Two dislocated knees. Saturn and Capricorn rules the knees. Did you know that? So, and Saturn in Aquarius rules the legs. So it was there. I just, who knew it would happen the way it happened, but it happened. And I lost my ability to walk for a while, but I got it back. So that's beautiful.
Okay, so let's talk about that for like a couple of seconds. Okay. We're going to talk about that because that is so inspiring. And just listening to you talk about that was like amazing. So share with the people, you know, how you lost or released.
Okay, I'll tell. Really, yes, it's amazing. So back years ago when I lived in Kentucky, I fell and I dislocated both knees. And they told me I would never walk again. And for 7.5 years, I didn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. And even if I had to go to the bathroom, I had to use a walker. It was horrible. And then I guess somewhere around 2013, I told you the medical, I told you what I did. And I ended up getting this energy and this ability. One day I was at my computer and that song Candy came on. You remember that song? It's like candy. Boom, boom, boom,
I
boom,
can
boom,
feel
boom,
it when you
boom,
walk.
boom. And I was like, I can dance to this song. I can get up. Right. I stood up. I could only dance for like 45 seconds. The next day I tried it again. I was up for like a minute. The next day it was like the whole song. And Tammi, it was one day after the next. Before I knew it, I was dancing for like hours. I was like, there are videos of me even now where I was like a demon. And I told you I lost 150 pounds the first year. And then over the course of years, I've lost 302 pounds. So it's amazing. And I did it all from dancing. And of course, I watched what I ate, but I didn't do any kind of surgeries, or I didn't kill myself exercising. I said I use kettlebells, I use arm weights, and that was it. And dancing. It was just about being on it, like every single day without fail, and having the dancing be my joy. Like I was in my joy. And I think when you do anything of pure joy, you're on the right trajectory. That's when magic happens. That's when you're in the zone. And like even now when I look back on it, like I'm a little older now, so I can't do what I was doing like 5-6 years ago. But I was like, Lord, I was in the zone. I was dancing for 3 hours and I wasn't feeling nothing. And I think that's what happens when you're right where you're supposed to be, right in that pocket. And, sometimes we feel that. You were telling me about you in the podcast. And I think I haven't looked at your chart, but if that's happening, it's because you're in the pocket right now. It's where you're supposed to be. And it feels good. It works well. And it's like effortless.
Yeah. It really is. It's one of the things I tell people. I said, this is my passion project because I love it so much. And it's wild because people ask me, how did I come up with this? And I said, well, to be honest with you, Spirit told me to do it. Spirit gave me the name. And I was like, and then over time, I met people that shared with me some different things on how to do it. And of course, I went to YouTube University and Google University. And when I started, it was on YouTube. And I kept saying, God, I really wanted to be on like the podcast platforms and all this stuff. And the Spirit said, don't worry about that. Just do what you're doing. And so I did. So for probably about a good year or so, I did it just on YouTube. And then I interviewed somebody and she said, you should try Anchor. So I did. And I've got it on Anchor now. Now it's on Anchor and Apple and Google and Radio Breaker and Listen Now and Podbean or something, a whole bunch of places. So I'm like, yes. And people are finding me on Google. I'm like, oh my God, but it's so amazing. And I love it. So now, my next move, of course, is to monetize because that's where this thing is going, because it's like now is my passion project because I don't make no money off it. But what I also did was I came up with a plan. And it's funny because I have people reaching out and asking me how to do it. And I'm like, what?
I'm gonna tell you this: when you figure out how to monetize your podcast, let me know, because girl, I got many of them. I too, okay. I got over 1,000 videos on YouTube. I also am on Anchor too, but I don't make a lot of money from it. So I'm like, if you figure out how to make a lot of money from it, you let me know, because I'm working on that right now.
I was gonna say, see, that's the reason why I record on Tuesdays.
Okay.
I give it one day. So when I finish recording, I process and everything. So when I'm done, I'm done. So then I can move on to money making activities.
See, I do the same thing. My day is Thursday. I used
to do it like different days and stuff and let people schedule all kind of days. And I was like, no. I saw somebody and they said, no. Said, do your podcast on one day. If they can't schedule that day, sorry,
right.
They'll have to
That's the way I do it. I do interviews like I'm doing your interview, but my podcasts are only Thursdays.
Yep. See, and that's what you have to do. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do because I like doing this.
Yes.
This gives me joy. I love talking to people and listening to them to see, what's going on with them. I typically don't even do a whole lot of research. I do a
Yeah.
little bit usually. I used to dive deep and dig, but I don't even do that much of that anymore because I
Yeah.
interview too many people. So I'm
Yes.
like, no, I do a little bit. Some guy sent me his thing to read, and so I'll read through that. Of course, not the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll skip some in the middle and do the end. I can't. It's too much. So,
I have a little form I have them fill out, like to get their information. And those who send it, I can really pump them up during the show if they provide that. Now, without it, then, we just go with whatever's going on. We go with the flow. But
that's what we're gonna
it's
do.
always nice to have that information so I can help pump them up, because sometimes people forget to pump up themselves
Well,
and
and
put their
that's the
links
reason
and all that
why
kind
I
of stuff.
started doing it the way I do it now, because I didn't
Mhm.
used to do that. I used to just reach out to people and say, "Can you send me your bio and your links?" And
Yes.
the spirit said, "No, put it in the thing, so when they
Yeah.
sign up, they can do it." Now I had
Yes.
somebody that didn't do a
Yes.
bio, and guess what?
Didn't
Their stuff
happen.
just didn't get in there
Right. Right.
because
Right.
I'm not going digging, and I'm not going to be
I
trying
don't
to.
ever go digging. Like, ever. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I like when you get there, that's my research. Right when we talking, I'm figuring you out and you figure me out. Okay.
Yep,
If
that's
we
how it goes.
it's right there, Johnny, on the spot. That's the way I do it. And I feel like that's the best way. That's why it feels good to you now, because you're doing it too. It's
Yes,
more organic when you do it that way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because the thing
Yeah.
is that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
And my design for this show was Super Soul Sunday meets Impact Theory.
Yeah.
That was my design because
I
I
love it.
love the way Oprah does her thing, and I love the way Tom Billieu does his thing. And so when
Oh
I started
yeah. Yeah.
watching,
Yeah.
doing my research, and I was like, you know what? I like this
Yeah.
because sometimes he digs really deep.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he kind of eases and stuff, but he's straight up and plain. And Oprah, she don't play no games, no way.
No. No. No.
So I was like, this is what I want. And so when I started thinking about it and I started, meditating on it and journaling on it and praying on it, and then this is kind of what started happening and flowing because people have told me, I told you stuff I never told anybody else. And I said,
It's because you're a reflector. You're a
exactly
reflector. That's what it is. It's beautiful. Wait a minute. What are your numbers? You tell me you're a reflector, but what are your numbers?
my
You
numbers.
you remember your gates? Like, I'm a
Oh,
6-2 generator.
2
Oh,
4.
2-4. Okay. Yeah.
I was
Like
just trying to
before,
think.
someone had told me I was a reflector too, but I'm a generator. And when you see me, I'm all talking and moving around and sweating and all that. You can tell I'm a generator. It's pretty obvious. So, but at first I wasn't sure. Like, what am I? What am I? Oh, you're a generator. You just keep going and going and going, just like in the
Right.
rest.
Like in terms of money, right?
Yeah. Well, my daughter's a manifesting generator, so she's the
That's
money
what
one.
both of my kids are.
They're gonna bring you money.
Yeah, they better. They're both manifesting generators, and my husband is a manifester.
Yes, I love it.
I'll be super excited about that, and he really is. So I'm
Oh,
like,
that's beautiful.
yes, yes. All right, so we're going to let the people know where they can find you, and also if you have a program or something that you are enrolling for and you want to share that,
Oh, okay. So
free.
I do so much, you guys. I almost feel ashamed to tell you. And it's because I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler.
That's
I'm
the
a
baby.
hustler. I'm a
I
hustler.
want you to
Okay,
know.
so let me just tell y'all. So one of my first little businesses I had is getmearealjob.com. I just throw that out there. I'm just going to go down the list, and that's okay. So getmearealjob.com. If I'm really starting to build that up again, and I'm looking for people for that. So that's interesting. That's all my other business. And then I was talking to you about dancing.slimdown.com, and I had lost the 300 pounds, and I do weight loss coaching, mostly for people who are like me. They've had trouble, maybe their whole lives, never lost weight, can't figure out why they're not losing weight either. Right. That's so deep. Like, we have to go really deep in our subconscious sometimes. And
Yes.
so there's a little bit of work with that of going in there, like getting those motivations together. Cause you have to be at that point where there is no other choice. Like, this is it, and there is no not it. Like, I have to do this for
Yeah,
my
right.
life.
Like, you're gonna die if you
Right.
don't.
Right. You have to get to that place. And when you get to that place, then it'll start to happen. It might, at first it might be a little, you'll maybe have some turnbacks, but after a while, the joy of reaching the goal will overtake the other things. Like, the more you see your success, the more you're going to want to taste that success. It is a beautiful thing. So anyway,
Yeah.
I've helped other people lose weight, and it's fun because there is nothing better than when they finally start to see the fountains come up. They're like it's such a good thing. Anyway, and you can find me even on Facebook at facebook.com/dance and slim down. It's there. There's a couple of different sites. Make sure you find the one that's got like 2,300 people there. That's the page there. And then I've got my astrology. That's astrologyalookinside.com. And that's on Google. So you can find that on Google. But astrologyalookinside.com. I do astrology. I do tarot readings. I do my healing and just a variety of things. There's digital things. I've got a blog there. There's just a lot there. So I invite you to go to astrologyalookinside.com. And now I'm really excited about gregarious. So I got to tell you about gregarious.flixters with a Z on the end.com. And gregarious is my own little brainchild. It's got videos, it's got blogs, it's got podcasts, and it's all uplifting. It's 100% positive all day. So it's like, if you're tired of going to YouTube, we actually do pipe in some YouTube videos, the positive ones. But guess what? There's no ads. They're not going to cut in with things you didn't ask for. And you can concentrate on what you want to concentrate on. That's the beauty of gregarious. So I hope that more people find out about gregarious.flixters with a Z on the end.com and come and visit me there. And
definitely have to check that out.
There's just so much stuff I've been involved in. So I would just say, just find me on Instagram at astrologyalookinside, or Instagram at getmearealjob.com, or Instagram at dance and slim down. They're all there, and also on Facebook. So, okay, I told you enough, I guess.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So there you have it. There you have it, Adrienne Obey. I'm super excited that she's decided to join me on Straight Outta Savannah Talking with Tammi. I wish that we could have talked a whole lot longer, but you know how that is. But here we are, and thank you so much for joining me, Adrienne, and thank you for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah Talking with Tammi, where we will be interviewing more entrepreneurs, people that are changing the planet. So if that is you, make sure that you reach out to me. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye now.